Okay, 11.6, the last section in this chapter. So this is going to be properties of chords. So warm-ups. 1. If the arc of the circle is 100 degrees, what does the inscribed angle measure? What is? I think that should be an is. So I'm going to draw this out so we can have a visual. So you know the arc is 100. Well, how much is the angle measure? So remember that angle is going to be smaller, so we divide by 2. So we have 100 divided by 2, which is 50 degrees. The second one up is if the radius of the circle is 5 inches, and the shaded area of the pie is 60 degrees, find the arc length. So this takes us a little bit further back. So 60 degrees, 5 inches. This is the shaded region. Find the arc length. So remember we do our angle, 60. We divide it by 360. And then you do 2 pi times our radius. And our radius is 5 inches. Okay. So here, we can divide each of them by 10, which means we just cancel those zeros. And then we see that 6 goes into 6 one time. 6 goes into 36 6 times. So I end up with 5 times 2, which is 10 times 1, 10 pi inches over 6. We see that we can take something else out of those. What's in common is they're both even, so 2 goes into both of them, so that becomes a 5 and that becomes a 3. So we can leave that as 5 pi inches divided by 3. Okay. So our first theorem, if 2 chords intersect inside a circle, then the measure of each angle formed is 1/2 the sum of the measure of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. So here you see the measure of angle 1, so that's right here, is 1/2 of arc CD plus 1/2 arc AB. And the same thing is happening on the inside. Measure of angle 2 is going to be 1/2 of BC plus AD. Now I know what you guys are doing right now is sitting at home thinking, the one thing I miss the most about geometry is Miss J's singing. I know. Now this is not my song. I did not create this song. And I'm probably going to butcher this. But you guys can all be thankful we're not in class where I make you sing this. So, angles and arcs. So it's supposed to be that if you're happy and you know it. So the vertex is on the circle, half the arc. If the vertex is in the circle, half the sum. But if the vertex is outside, then you're in for a ride, 'cause it's half of the difference anyway. Okay, normally I'd make you sing this a couple times. We're probably okay. And you're welcome. So this involves the theorem we just had. So our angle here, x, equals 1/2 the 2 arcs. So 60 plus 170. So it's the arc and the vertical angle arc. So we're here, 60 and 170. So we have 1/2 of, and then 60 plus 170 is 230. Which brings us to 115. So x equals 115. Now over here it's slightly different. We're given the inside angle, so that goes on the one side of the equal sign. 1/2 x plus 38. You have 2 options here. You can multiply by the 1/2 and send it over. And or you can distribute the 1/2. I always prefer the option of multiplying 2 to the other side, but I know that you guys probably prefer me to distribute it, so I'll do that. So I end up with 68 equals 1/2 x plus 1. Let's just make sure I'm not going to give you the wrong number. Should be 19, I think, but 38 divided by 2, 19 is correct. Okay. Subtract over 19. Gives me 49. Goes 1/2 x, multiply each side by 2 to get rid of that 1/2. So these cancel. X equals 98. So these two are kind of like a puzzle. If we wanted to find the measure of one of these angles, we know that would be 1/2 80 plus 72. But we're really interested is these two. Well, we know that the sum of those two is going to be the whole circle minus the two angles or the two arcs we know. So you're going to do 360 minus 80 minus 72. So 360 minus 80 minus 72 is going to give me 208. So we know that x plus y equals 208. To find the measure of angle 1, that's going to be 1/2 of 208, which is 104. So this one was a little bit more like a puzzle. And then this one's back to the way we did it before. So x equals 1/2, our angle of 63, our arc, plus our arc of 99. You add those two together, you get 62, 162, and half of that is 81 degrees. Okay, I think we're going to leave it here today, and then we'll pick up tomorrow with the other half of this lesson. Thanks, guys. Miss you.